Okay, so the next memory we have Scrooge's childhood and fan. The next memory we have of his is being an apprentice and his first boss. Um, so Fezziwig, who's very hilarious. His name's hilarious. He's hilarious. And Scrooge really reflects on maybe this is the kind of boss I need to be. I'm not really like him, and he was so great. Yo, my boys, no more work tonight. Right away, that's no Scrooge. Christmas Eve, Dick. Christmas Ebenezer. Let's have the shutters up, cried Fezziwig with sharp clap of his hands, before a man can say Jack Robinson. So here we get the strong orders of work to say stop working. Stop working, okay? And look how fast these guys move. You wouldn't believe how these two fellows went at it. They charged into the street with the shutters. 1, 2, 3, had them up in their place. 4, 5, 6, barred them and pinned them. 7, 8, 9, and came back before you can get to 12, panting like racehorses. They are excited to stop work. These young men, boys, who work for a low wage for their boss to learn the job. Apprenticing was a classic way to learn your work. Clear away. There was nothing that wouldn't have been cleared away or couldn't have cleared away with old Fezziwig looking on. It was done in a minute. Every movable was packed off as if it were dismissed from public life forevermore. The floor was swept and watered. The lamps were trimmed. Fuel was heaped upon the fire. That's important. That's really different than the Scrooge. And the warehouse was snug, warm, dry, bright, a ballroom as you would desire to see on a winter's night. They transform work. They transform this into a dance hall. And you know what? He's magical, because if he's looking on, it's gonna happen. It just has to, because Fezziwig deems it so. Here we get a fiddler with a music book, and went up to a lofty desk and made an orchestra of it. And look, these little, wait, I'm just going to number these things. 2, here we get 3. A guy just with a fiddle at a desk becomes an orchestra. When your joy transforms like magic, I think, in this book. In came Fezziwig, one vast, substantial smile. In came the 3 Miss Fezziwigs, beaming and lovable. I presume that's his daughters. In came the 6 young followers, whose hearts they broke. In came all the young men and women employed in the business. In came the housemaid with her cousin, the baker. In came the cook with her brother's particular friend, the milkman. Dickens is just amazing with the way he can paint a scene and draw all these people in and give you a sense of England and work and identity. Oh, look at this list. It's amazing. In came the boy from over the way, who was suspected of not having bored enough from his master, trying to hide himself behind the girl from next door but one, who was proved to have had her ears pulled by her mistress. These are good workers, bad workers, people punished. It doesn't matter. It's Christmas. Everybody comes together. In they all came, one after another. Some shyly, some boldly, some gracefully, some awkwardly, some pushing, some pulling. In they all came anyhow and everyhow. Away they all went, 20 couple at once, hands half round and back again the other way, down the middle and up again, round and round in various stages of affectionate grouping. Old top couple were always turning up in the wrong place. New top couple starting off again as soon as they got there. All top couples at last, and not a bottom one to help them. When this result was brought about, old Fezziwig... So this is just... Now we get the workers, now we have the dancing, and now we have Fezziwig clapping his hands to stop the dance. He does have this power, I guess. Well done. And the fiddler plunged his hot face into a pot of porter. especially provided for the purpose. So he has a big pot of beer. But scorning rest upon his reappearance, he instantly began again. Though there were no dances yet, as if the other fiddler had been carried home, exhausted, on a shutter, and he were a brand new man resolved to beat him out of sight or perish. Fantastic. What a party. Look at that. That's just awesome. That's Christmas. That's fun. Fezziwig's a party animal, and it's a really good time. And this is exactly what Christmas could be. You can still work, make money, and still learn to celebrate in this world. Scrooge is having a great time. He's filled with memories and wants to talk to people. Obviously, he can't interact. And the ghost reflects on what this all means. It's a small matter to make these silly folks, I think he means that ironically, full of gratitude. It's little to make people happy. What? Small? The spirit signed him to listen to the two apprentices who were pouring out their hearts in praise of Fezziwig, and when he had done so said, "Why, is it not? He's just spent a few pounds of your mortal money, and this is how much they praise him." So praise, love, I think it's devotion, to your boss, maybe. It isn't that, said Scrooge, heated by the remark. I don't know why heated. He's kind of angry and speaking unconsciously like his former, not his latter self. It isn't that, Spirit. He has the power, okay? Your boss has the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or burdensome, light or heavy, a pleasure or a toil. Your boss can change your work. Say that his power lies in words and looks, so in things so slight and insignificant that it is impossible to add and count them up. What then? The happiness he gives is quite as great as if it cost a fortune. He felt the spirit's glance and stopped. The happiness he gives is quite as great as if it cost a fortune. He can do anything just with a little bit of care. Scrooge is hearing, maybe not hearing himself. He felt the spirit's glance and stopped. What's the matter? Nothing particular. Something, I think. No. I should like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk just now, that's all. His former self turned down the lamps as he gave utterance to the wish, and Scrooge and the ghost stood side by side in the open air. So, Scrooge doesn't want to admit the importance of bosses, but he sees it, and he's begrudging, and he doesn't quite, he's early in this journey, and he's just seeing things he's kind of a little bit embarrassed about, but he's not really ready to shift and change, not yet anyway.